Have you ever visited Konark Temple?
First, yes, I have visited it 2 times.
Oh, great. So can you tell what is so special about that temple?
The very specialty lies in the fact that when the sun starts to rise, it first trace falls on the top of the temple and it falls and it follows it likewise. And the
Mm-hmm.
thing is that its shadows doesn't fall in that particular what we say in sanctum section of area of temple. Like the
Okay.
so it's like designed in such a way that you won't find its shadow near it. Like
Acha.
we have a shadow, so it's
Hmm.
designed in that way. And the second thing is that now the sea have approached a little back, but before it was very near to the temple itself. So there is a
Mm-hmm.
story related to it of a son who gave up his life for the protection of his father.
So you're working currently with Hindalco,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Okay. So
Yes,
can
sir.
you tell us more about this company Hindalco and also your profile over there?
Yes, sir. I will start with the history of Hindalco.
Mm-hmm.
Hindalco industry started from Renukoot, that is in Uttar Pradesh, Singrauli district. And
Sort of due to time constraint, you can be just brief. You can just
yeah,
briefly tell me two,
just
three things,
briefly.
two, 3 points that you find worth mentioning about your company and quickly about your profile.
Yeah. So Hindalco Industries is one of the like best quality aluminium producer in the world. It has
Mm-hmm.
acquired Eldores and Novelis, that is in USA, two of the
Mm-hmm.
major giants in aluminium production, and it is now producing like highest recycled aluminium in its USA plant. So it's very
Okay.
green and sustainable plant, and is going with this motto.
Okay.
And
What were the total revenue of the company in the year 2021-22?
so can you repeat?
Can you share revenue figures of the company for the year 2021-22? Have you checked
Mm,
the company's financial report for the previous financial year?
so I said, I don't remember exact figure.
Okay, no problem. So you have also mentioned that you are associated with NCC,
Yes, sir.
right? So who is the Director General of NCC currently?
Mm, so it's a precise answer.
Can you name any film star who is alive currently and who is also an alumni of NCC?
Film star?
Yeah, film star.
No, sir. As of my knowledge, I don't recall any film star associated with NCC.
Oh, is it? Check about Anupam Kher. Okay, so you have mentioned in your resume that you have won Asia Rocket competition organized by SNDX, right?
SDNX, Space Development
SDNX.
Access.
Okay, so can you tell us more about that? What is that
Yeah.
project all about? What is that
Actually,
competition?
it was a competition organized by Space Development Nexus.
Mm-hmm.
It consisted of several colleges invited across Asia, and we were asked to make like a sounding rocket, basically that could travel near to the speed of sound, and
Okay.
it should be made through all the reusable materials and
Mm-hmm.
with as much from your side, not taking help from any research institutes. So it was only for college student. What we
Mm-hmm.
did was that we created our own rocket using fins and pipes that were reusable. So the main target was when we launched the rocket, we could reuse the body. It doesn't get wasted, and we were able to achieve that. We launched from a certain zone. We were asked to land on a certain zone, and
Mm-hmm.
we reached an altitude of 1 kilometer. That was highest in all over Asia. So we won
Okay.
the first prize due to our altitude and our successful landing.
Okay. So can you also tell us how this Earth and space communicate? I mean, how the space station communicates with Earth? How the communications take place?
It is basically through radio waves. We
Okay.
send we send radio waves through concentrated dish antennas. We have a certain
What
aperture.
is
What
TRDS?
TRDS? So I said,
Right.
I don't
You
have much
haven't
idea
heard of
about this.
this terminology?
Yes, I haven't heard of this.
So why do you want to go for MBA?
Yeah. As I will go through my work experience. when I started my work with Hindalco Industries Limited, I was handed over the execution part of flue gas desulfurization project. There I did was day-to-day planning of the operation part, like which part to execute and planning accordingly. I was also tasked to see the sourcing of materials from the vendors and seeing the timely deliveries to our like site, work site. After the completion of project, I was transferred to operation department that looks after the generation of the plant and the day-to-day activities of the maintenance department, like coordinating the operations team with the maintenance department. So I developed like key interest towards like organizing and operations part, supply chain management. Like when we were going through this project, we were in COVID period also. So like managing
But
the
Saurav, my
supply.
question still remains there that you are already learning the skills and you are getting practical exposure of the skills. So why do you need to go for formal education? I mean, you are learning that, isn't that? That's the
Yes,
best way. You are getting exposed to that, so that's the best way to learn. So why do
it's
you want to leave that job and go for formal MBA?
it's a like learning from practical experience gives more, but the thing is that very limited. I will be limited only to the certain projects that I've been assigned or the certain operation department that I look after. But in order to have a holistic approach, I need to have a formal education where I will be under experienced teachers and I will also
But once
be.
again, I feel that even in your company, I'm sure you will grow in the corporate ladder and you will definitely get exposed to different projects and different departments. So, isn't that sufficient? It looks
Sir,
like that you have made up your mind that unless I do MBA, I'll not gain the knowledge.
I will be able to gain knowledge, sir. It's not a very difficult thing, but it takes a lot of time.
What do you want to do in your life? I mean, what's your career goal?
Yeah, so stating about the career goals, sir, I am from a business family and I joined the company for the sole purpose of gaining experience and coming to know about industry so that I will be able to work on my own industry in future. I have plans for that and
So,
currently
what kind of business do you want to start in future?
stating going with that, sir, we have a plan of starting the very own Sambalpuri. We are famous for Sambalpuri saris and
Okay.
handicraft items over there. So I would like to bring forward that particular segment of Sambalpur to the entire
Is
India.
there
Like,
anyone in your family who is currently into that business?
yes, sir, they are in small scale, not big, to the catering to the local area.
And you have applied to this IIM Bangalore PGDBA program. Okay, so are you really interested in business analytics?
Yes, sir. I am interested and I am also currently undergoing a training of data science and analytics.
Okay.
And I have learned up to now Python and using statistical model, and I'm currently in the phase of machine learning part.
Saurabh, can you give me a simple real-time business example where you can apply your learning of business analytics to improve or to increase the revenue of a company? Just give me one example that you can use these tools to increase the revenue in this way. A
Uh,
brief example.
yeah, brief example. I'll just give an example of a company that is weather.com. It's
Okay.
not completely related to my one. So with the advent of smartphones, weather.com, like they were having a problem in the business model. So what they did was they went to the business analytic part and they were successfully able to predict the like what kind of products uh, Hindustan Unilever should deliver over USA. Like they found the relation between weather, the data that they had, and the particular shampoo brand that the company was able to sell, and they found a relation between the weather and the shampoo. So as per their suggestion, Hindustan Unilever was able to like deliver a better product or
So how did they find that relation? Because do we really need to use any complicated tools? Even by correlation analysis, you can find out that okay, there is a strong correlation. Isn't that?
So sometimes correlations are not a legitimate one, because there is something known as spurious correlation. Uh, we were given, like when we were in training, we were given an example of a research associate one. What she did was that she wanted to find out the relation of weather with ship sinking. So when she found the correlation, it was a very decent one. Like it showed that when weather got bad, the ship sank. But the while doing the defense of a thesis, it was disapproved because there was a case where the weather was bad, but the ship didn't sink. So the correlations could be spurious, and it requires not a much complicated data models for that. But we need to go a bit deeper to realize that the relations that we are seeing and whether they are actually true or not. So we have many models for that. For example, first we do a basic logistic regression, because it is a kind of classification problem. And after that, we validate it through a technique known as k-fold validation. So it requires multiple validation. Thereafter, we can implement it in business level.
Okay. Fair enough. What are your hobbies? What do you do apart from the job and all?
Apart from such job, I like bike riding, and I am a photographer as well.
So which places have you rode your bike to?
So actually, I have not rode my personal bike, because during the purchase of my bike I had an accident, but I have took my friend's bike to multiple places near my hometown up to now. That includes like mountainous area, like I'm in hilly area. So we have gone to the nearby mountains, and currently I'm in Bangalore. So I took one. I was in Pondicherry for bike ride. I took their scooty, and I was just traveling while doing photography. And I've also gone to Nandi Hills.
Okay, right. Can you tell me which neighboring state of Odisha has election schedule in this year?
Chhattisgarh.
Okay. You sure about that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Saurav. Thanks for joining. We'll soon let you know about our decision. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So, Saurav, the formal interview ends over here. Okay. There are some positives and there are some areas to improve. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, let's quickly discuss about that. Starting with the eye contact part. And the tone. So I felt that your eye contact, you can be a little more conscious about your eye contact, and maybe you can carry a smile. Okay? In the interview, you were at certain stages, you were a bit serious. So yeah, just try to smile, just try to look a little more cheerful, and don't try to look down, because it looks like you have written something in a piece of paper and you are trying to read out from that, or you are looking at mobile or something. So try to maintain that eye contact with your computer screen.
Yes,
I'll also give you one more suggestion over here. So this is something that can differentiate you from other interviewees in the online interview. For example, we all, when we participate in the online meeting, we have that habit of looking at the computer, the camera eye, right? And that gives us this kind of posture. While actually what I can do is, I mean, we normally look at the computer screen, not the camera eye. Well, if I look at the camera eye, the other person, the interviewer, will feel that you are looking at the interviewer. So
yes,
that's a slightly tough task. If you have time, you can practice this thing and you can try to consciously look at the camera eye when you are answering the question. So
yes,
you can imagine the interviewer is sitting in front of you and you are looking at them, and you are with smile, you can confidently deliver your answer. Trust
yes,
me,
sir.
not many interviewees would be doing this, but this will give lots of comfort to the interviewer, because when you are looking, for example, right now I'm looking at you, I'm not looking at the screen. So you'll feel good, okay, sir is talking to me. So
Yes, sir.
if you can do this thing, it would be amazing. Second, you need to be a little concise in terms of your answer. Acha, I forgot to mention about voice modulation. So, naturally your voice is very sober. Okay, and it goes at a particular pace. So when you are mentioning something which you want to actually emphasize, so you can raise your voice, I mean, you can modulate the voice such a way that you can emphasize on certain points. So this is something that you can try to do. Otherwise, your communication skills are decent, but your articulation of thoughts probably is making you pause in between. So you can just clearly articulate your thoughts and don't try to serve so much of information when a question is asked. So that's
Yes,
my
sir.
third point, that try to be crisp so that the chances of you being cut in between will be very less, because these interviewers will be very impatient. Okay, they are actually
Yes, sir.
impatient because they need to take lots of interview, or they are pretending to be impatient just to put you under pressure. That is something that is not known, but very rarely they'll allow you to speak at such a length. I was one of those rare patient interviewer. Okay, so
Yes,
in
sir.
actual interviews you will not get such patient ears. So you need to be very crisp and clear. Just make a point that you are not elaborating so much. For example, whether it was about Konark Temple, or about your company, or about your profile, or about that rocket project, you start from very beginning and you try to go till the end. Well, what you need to do, I actually do, is you just need to pick one point from the beginning, then one from the body, and one from the end. So 3 points to answer a particular question should be good enough. Unless
Yes,
they
sir.
ask you to elaborate, then you can again pick 3 more points. But if they ask you to elaborate, doesn't mean that you go on for another 5 minutes,
Yes, sir.
right? So try to be very concise. We can always think, okay, these are the important points that I should deliver, and you can deliver it, and that will actually improve the fluency in your answer also.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
What I like the most about you is you are very clear about what you know, right? So whatever question you have answered, you were probably almost very clear. I mean, in 90% of the areas you were clear. It's just that if you can articulate these things in a better way, in crisp manner, the other person will clearly understand,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Okay. And yeah, about MBA, I'm not very convinced that why do you want to go for MBA? So you have been just showing that thing. Okay, you are going to get something in MBA that you are not getting right now, that typical managerial knowledge, expertise, something, but you are not able to communicate that. So let me help you out. What you can tell them, okay, sir, yes, I'm learning, I'm getting practical exposure about the management functions, but I don't want to limit myself only to these operations. I also want to understand the nuances of finance, marketing, HR, and many other. And apart from that, I want to specialize in this one. That's first key reason.
Yes, sir.
Apart from that, an MBA college will provide me that atmosphere to make myself a corporate citizen, to develop my interpersonal skills, and I'll also get network with future managers. So that's another reason, besides getting a launching pad for my own startup. For example, this college has that incubation center. So I'm eagerly
Yes,
looking
sir.
forward to join that incubation center, or be part of that incubation center right in the second year of my management program, so that I can, get going with my entrepreneur spirit.
Yes, sir.
Are you getting this point? So try to bring some really interesting points, solid points, कि उनको लगे कि हाँ ये उसको यहाँ पे नहीं मिल सकता, है ना? तो ये
Yes, sir.
चीज को तुम क्लियर कर सकते हो. तो अभी ये जो पॉइंट्स हमने डिस्कस किए ना, उसको थोड़े से पेपर पे रखो. जैसे अबाउट योर कंपनी, अबाउट योर प्रोफाइल, कि ओके आई एम गोइंग टू स्पीक अबाउट दिस 3-4 पॉइंट्स इफ दिस क्वेश्चन इज आस्क्ड, राइट? तो
Yes, sir.
it will give you more clarity next time when you will be sitting for the interview. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. So I'll take one more interview of yours. Let's consider this as preliminary interview, and I'll take one more interview of yours, probably with one more panel member, right?
Yes, sir.
And yes, in that I expect slightly better performance, so that
Yes,
you
sir.
can surely sail through all the other top B school interviews, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Saurav, all the best.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. और कोई query आपका है? Do you have any query, any question that you wish to ask before we wind up?
Yes, sir. So one thing is that you asked me certain sales figure and I was not very much able to
Oh,
give.
yes, absolutely. You should be thorough with your company. I'm
Yes.
not saying that get into details of that कि EBITDA कितना था, ये कितना था, नहीं. Just मोटे मोटे फिगर्स होने चाहिए यार. तुम जिस कंपनी में काम करते हो उसके 3 कंपटीटर, ठीक है,
Yes, sir.
वो तुम्हें पता होने चाहिए. ग्लोबल लेवल, इंडियन लेवल, अगर मल्टीनेशनल है तो उस तरीके से. फिर उसका रेवेन्यू, उसके फाइनेंशियल्स, हु इज द करंट चेयरमैन और डायरेक्टर जो भी आता है, ठीक है, तो ये कुछ चीजें तुम्हें पता होनी चाहिए, कितने कंट्रीज में वो प्रेजेंट है, ठीक है, कितने उनके प्रोडक्ट वर्टिकल्स है, तो ये तुम्हें थोड़ा बहुत पता होना चाहिए. Because see, it's not that you have spent 2-3 months. It has been good 1.5 year, more than that, right? You have been working with this company for 2 years.
Yes, sir.
Right? So you are expected to know in and out about that company. है ना?
Yes, sir. So one more thing.
And similarly for the college that you are applying for. Okay?
Yes,
for
sir.
example, if you are going to SPJain, understand when it was established, who was the founder, and complete history. The noted alumni of that college and all.
Yes, sir. So one more thing, it's like kind of tricky to interpret. Like we are like I am employed by Aditya Birla Group, and I am sent by them to Hindalco as a like assistant manager.
But why so? इसमें आदित्य बिरला ग्रुप कहाँ से आया?
Aditya Birla Group is the parent company of Hindalco.
Oh, is it? Oh, I'm
Yes.
not aware. Right.
So like Aditya Birla Group, it has 5 to 6 companies.
So it's like, see, when you are working with Reliance Telecommunication, so you will not say you are working with Reliance. You'll always say I'm working with Reliance Telecommunication. So
Okay.
if you are working with Hindalco, which itself is a big company, okay, so you don't need to mention anything about Aditya Birla Group. It's Hindalco.
Yes, sir. So I was asking this because from October till like April, my work ex will be showing ABMCPL, Aditya Birla Management Corporation Private Limited, and before that it will be Hindalco. So like kind of 6 month, my vertical has been changed for this particular.
Doesn't matter. See, I mean, this nuances, this IIM people, they'll understand this part. So you really don't need to get into these things. ठीक है, मतलब जब आपको डॉक्यूमेंट प्रोड्यूस करना होगा, आप उनको बताओ कि सर इस तरीके से इट्स अ पेरेंट कंपनी, ठीक है, एंड आई वाज विद हिंडाल्को, बट थोड़े टाइम के लिए उन्होंने ये अलग वर्टिकल में मुझे रखा था, दैट्स फाइन, ठीक है.
Okay, sir.
Right. Since it's a parent company, so you are not lying anything, right? It's an internal arrangement or internal structuring of the company. Okay? So that should be okay. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Sure. All the best.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.